Hi everyone, I hope you're well. So we need to do tables. So we're going to create tables with HTML, and in activity 21.6 we need to create the code for a table. And they say in this activity you will learn how to create a basic table, write the section of HTML that can be used to produce a table with 3 columns and 4 rows. Each cell in the table should hold the following text. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I have included the code for that. The textbook didn't give the code on how to do that, so I just gave you this one over here. So you can just right click, open a new tab, and download this. And you can say open in file location, and you can just say open with and notepad, and you can also just double click on it and you can see how it looks like. I'm going to keep control in and scroll with my mouse so I can zoom in. You can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so how the code works, first I want you to play with it. So I want you to pause the video, I'll say when, but I'm just going to take a screenshot here. I'm going to open this in Paint. Okay, what I want you to do is I want you to first play with this, try and figure it out. So I'm going to show you how I want you to put it. So I want you to put the cells like this. So you're going to change the words around. Just getting this there. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That we can keep there. The 8 we put there. Okay. Oops. Okay, so now pause the video and play with the code over here. So you can type in anything over here, jargon, okay, and you can just press File, Save, or on the keyboard Control S and it saves. And you can just refresh here anytime you change something in there, so you don't have to open and close it the whole time. So you don't have to close this, open it there, so you don't have to do that. So just change here, pause the video, try and see how we are going to do that. So okay, so hopefully you have paused the video, and let me just save this. Okay, cell 1, okay, and we're just gonna swap these around. So I'm gonna swap the 2 with this one over here. So that should say cell 4. Let's test it. Oh, I put in a double L. Let's test it. So I want the 2 over there. Okay, we got the 2 over there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so here we want the 3. So the 7 is going to turn into a 3. 4, 5. 5 stays there. So we have 4, 5, 6. And then we want 7, 8, 9. Okay, so if your code looks like that, you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so you have created a table. To create a table, we need the starting tag to say table, and we will also need an end tag that ends the tag with table as well. Then we have table rows, table data, and those are the only 2 types of things you need to type in there in your HTML. And this is what we're going to put in the table data for the first table row, which is 1, 4, 7. So if you look here, this is the table row 1, 4, 7. Now we make a new table row. So this would be table row 1, table row 2, table row 3. But we don't specify that. We just say this is the table rows over here. And yeah, so it's very, very easy. If you did not find that easy, it's fine. You can send me messages, or you can just try and figure that out. But I would prefer that you send me messages, but you can go back into the video to try and find that. Okay, so for the summaries, it's just about the different things that you can do with tables. We are going to get into more detail after this, but for this exercise, we're just going to change the width and the height of a table, and we're going to put in some values for how big that should be over there. So load your HTML editor. So we're just going to open Notepad, and we just start with the end and start tags for the table. You are more than welcome to skip the video ahead or try and beat me while retyping this. So we're going to put in the height as 250, the width as 300. Make double sure that you don't make any spelling errors, because it will be frustrating when you have to try and find out what you typed wrong. Border equals 2, we got that. You'll see also in the textbook that they tab these start and first tags, so they press tab on their keyboard to do that. It's not necessary. HTML reads the code line for line, so it's just there so that it's easier for us to read. But if you just type everything underneath, it's not gonna do anything wrong. Width, and it's equal to 200. Put in cell 1, and we put that there. Okay, so instead of having to retype everything, just copy and paste and change the things that are different. Okay, so we want to use computers effectively, so you can just change that to a 50. When you highlight something, you don't have to press backspace to delete it first. You can actually retype over it. So I have seen people still do that, so just don't waste time. So now we end our table row. So this table row is connected to the opening table row over there, and let's start a new one. So we can actually just copy, paste into that one. There you go. So you can see it gets confusing when you don't put in the tabs, so it's just easier to read that we can see all of this goes under the first table row. In fact, we can actually do this, and everything in there. And since we're also going to have 3 table data pieces there, we can just paste that in there, and we can just change this so it's the same as that one. So cell 4, cell 5, cell 6, and I think that is all that they wanted. Perfect. And we need to save this. Notice how the height and width of the table in pixels are specified in the first line, so we do that there. And save this HTML in your HTML folder using the file name table activity 15.7. So I'm going to say save as. Okay, so this is something I've seen a lot. So you guys type in the name perfectly, well done for that. But if you just save this as activity 15.7, if you are just going to save it like that, there's no file extension. So currently it's going to save it as a .txt, but if you just say all files and you save it as .txt, as a .7, it's actually going to make the file extension .7, and there's no program that can open that with .7. So it's going to be a mission to try and figure out how to rename that a bit later. So just remember to say .htm. You can say HTML or HTML, both would open up the same program, and you can just save this in your student documents. I have student documents here somewhere, ICT, web design, and this is for tables, and it's HTML, and I say save. So it should open. If I go to that file, students, ICT, web design, tables, okay, it should open, and that is exactly what we wanted. So it should look like this. If you see something went wrong, try to find out what is different from this code that you wrote and the one in the textbook. Usually it could be something silly. yeah, you'll see what it is. I'm trying to make things on purpose not work here. You can see there, just by putting in a single space in front of the TD, you can see there, that single space there actually created that we don't get the full product. So I'm just gonna save it. I press Control S on my keyboard and I just refresh, and now everything is working again. So just make sure that you don't put in unnecessary spaces between letters or words or phrases or the tags. So you'll see I think I broke most of everything now just by putting in silly spaces. Let's put a space there. There you go. Now we don't even have a table. So just make sure about that. So if you do get an error, just zoom in on the PDF more and just see what it is you have to type. The whole process is a learning process. So if you do make mistakes, it's better to make them here now than in an exam. So mistakes are good, but don't make them the whole time. Yeah, awesome. Enjoy your day.